you look at the film, what are just the biggest things that stood out that went wrong on Sunday?
Well, we had miscommunication on the coverage, as we all saw in the red zone. Can't have that. And one long drive, really. But other than that, I think we played pretty solid.
What's the key to not letting one loss spill over into in snowball?
Oh yeah, I don't think we wear ourselves with that, especially on the first game. It's gotta get back in the swing of things. That's all it is, and we know who we are, what we got to do, and we take the positives. What coach like to say, eliminate the plays that get you beat, limit the bad plays, and keep going with the good plays. So.
Grant, if I remember correctly, last year when you played Trevor, he wasn't 100%. He came in a little banged up. How has his game, though, grown, and what complications does he present to you guys?
Yeah, well, he's a big, tall, he's even agile quarterback. He gets the ball out pretty fast. He has a very quick release, and he finds his receivers. Like you said, in the game, he wasn't completely healthy last year, so I know he has a chip on his shoulder and wants to come back and play better than he did. But we have a plan.
Losing Juan for the next 4 weeks at least, how big of an impact is that to this defense, and how do you expect the other guys like Pickett and Cloud to step up?
Yeah, like I said, those guys got, Rocket, he got valuable experience last year. I know that he's going to take with him. Rodney, 13-year vet, I don't have to worry about him. I still want to put those guys in advantageous situations, and so that they could be able to feel comfortable in anything they want to do, because, I feel like I'm able to move around a lot more.
Do you know Brian Thomas Jr. pretty well at all, and what do you think of his game so far?
The young Tiger, man, the young Tiger's going to shine, so, shout out to him. I saw he scored in a good game last week, but, I'm going to have to go see him this weekend and go Tiger versus Tiger, but I haven't met him, but, I'm sure we'll do a little, jersey swap or something like that and talk to him.
Grant, talking about the communication breakdown on that Cook's touchdown last week, are those fairly easy fixes for you guys at this point, since this defense isn't new? Do you think?
Yeah, it was easy. We shouldn't messed it up at all. We did that in our sleep, so we can't have those mishaps.
Do you feel like you guys will be able to handle sort of the distraction that Deshaun is enduring this week or going through this week? How do you think you guys will handle all of that?
Listen, man, I know he has a lot on his plate, and we come in this building, we come here to work, and we come here to execute what we got to do. I let him know, man, I got your back no matter what, man, and as long as we're playing for this team, and as long as these guys, you in this locker room with us, and even after that, I would never do anything to hurt you or even go against you. You know what I'm saying? So that's my quarterback, and I would imagine yourself in that situation. Nobody knows what he's really going through. Nobody knows the real details, but I got my quarterback back.
Grant, this team has been so good at dealing with adversity, bouncing back from losses over these. What is it about you guys, the coaching staff, whatever it is, that allows you guys to sort of focus and have that tunnel vision?
I don't know, man. I know it's kind of in our DNA. I think that we did a great job last year of bouncing back from a couple key losses. But, as we emphasize this away game, we all know we didn't play well on defense away. So, we gotta start the season correct and put that behind us. So that's a big emphasis in this week and doing what we got to do away. Hot Jacksonville, Florida.
Grant, you mentioned not playing well on the road last year. Nobody can put their finger on why that was the case.
Yeah, sure.
So just as you guys get ready for your first road game of the season, is there anything you guys are doing differently or thinking through or trying to sort of make sure you take what you got in that home last year, take it on the road?
We wasn't using our frequent flyer miles. I'm plugging it in this year, all airlines. So that's what we're going to use our frequent flyer miles that we have from last year.
Is it more so because JOK made sort of a joke about some people doing stuff differently pregame. Is it more so just like a superstitious thing for you guys at this point, where maybe we just need to try something new?
Nah, I don't. No, I really don't. I don't think it's any superstition. All seriousness, we're gonna be laser focused, heightened awareness this week. We're gonna have we're gonna have the offense with the crowd playing for them, the crowd noise up, and defense. I don't know. I know it's gonna be hot with 80, 90 something degrees. I'm used to it, but some of the guys not. So I'm gonna listen. We're gonna get right on the road.
You have two teams going up against each other that nobody wants to go 0-2. We all know what that means in terms of playoff hopes and chances. So what's the intensity going to be like for both teams to avoid that?
Yeah, I mean, even going back to last year, it's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row. You know, from the film that we have on them, the film that they got on us, it's gonna be a dogfight. We got to go to their house now. I know they're excited about that, but hey, this is the NFL, man. It's a dog eat dog, step against stepped on world. So let's go to work. Cool. Good. Appreciate it.
What do you see when you look at that Jacksonville offense?
I mean, we see a great team. Obviously, a team that didn't necessarily come out with a win last week, but you know they were up a lot during the game. And again, I mean, we've played the team before. You know, they added some new pieces. Some new pieces have been taken away, but you know, it's a rather consistent offense in reference to the pass and run game. And you know, you have a great quarterback. And you have a great running back and great wide receivers and a great line. So we're looking to live up to that challenge this week and can't wait to do it. So.
Jeremiah, in your eyes, what's the key to making sure that, last year you guys performed so well at home as a defense, but maybe not as much on the road? 14 points at home, almost 30 points on the road. What's the key to making sure that when you go away from feet, you guys are performing to your standard?
Well, I mean, it's just correcting mistakes. I mean, it comes down to really studying the past so that we can what was it, Confucius that said, study the past so you can define the future. I think that's really our philosophy going into the game is that, we've studied the past and the things that we've done that, really was, our mistakes. And a lot of the things, were little things that we could have executed on. And, our goal here coming Sunday is just to make sure that those things don't happen again and that we've taken those things off of film and moving on. So.
Did you feel like there was anything different in attitude-wise last year, home versus road? Anything big you can put your finger on? No,
I mean, it's just about executing. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily put like a home-away tag on it, but, it's just about executing when the time comes. You're in an unfamiliar environment. You have to make sure that you focus really a little bit more because, there's noise, you may have family coming from a whole other side. I mean, there's just so many things that go on away games. You're traveling. But those are not excuses. Those are just reasons, right, to which, we have to lock more in when we hit the road. So.
Jeremiah, last year you guys talked about the importance of getting turnovers or takeaways. What's the key to that, especially heading into this week?
Well, it's following our keys, following the quarterback's eyes, making sure we're patting, at least as linebackers, not moving too fast, not moving too soon, disruption of the pocket, whether it's, from the outside or the interior, and just locking up our man, out with the DBs, keeping our zones right. It's about keying our keys and following into coach's game plan. So.
In the first half on Sunday, you guys had 3 sacks right out of the gate. There just seemed to be a lot of energy. The second half, you guys couldn't get home with your pass rush. Were you guys affected by the amount of time you were on the field and the short offensive drives?
Oh, well, I mean, no, I don't think it was anything to do with the offense. I mean, the defense is a collective body, and as we, as a team, we're a collective body. So, I think, the second half, I thought we did solid in the second. I don't think they scored in the second half. I think we're about 26 or 29% loss on the third down. So I think it was a solid performance. Again, there was some mistakes there we could have cleaned up, but overall, I think that we see those things and we progress from the things that we did wrong. But ultimately, I didn't necessarily see some maybe big fall off or anything on the second half.
One of the things about last year on the road was it seemed the team fell behind a lot on the road, 14-0 early in the game, and then you played a good game after that. Can you pinpoint anything with slower starts on the road?
Again, it's just about following the same routines that we do at home. Maybe, and I'm just making assumptions. Maybe, our routines, may have, say like a guy may go to the local, beach store in Ohio before the game or something like that, and, he doesn't have that local beach store, away. I don't know. I'm trying to give you some something to write down in your articles. But
Much appreciated.
yeah. So, may have something to do with the routines, but overall, I mean, we're looking at it, in terms of just executing. It comes down to that, following the coaching, following the game plans, and correcting those mistakes. So.
Jeremiah, I know I talked to you last week just about more responsibility for you, playing more on the field, being on the field more. You did play every defensive snap last week. Just how did you feel after a game, especially when you guys were on the field quite a bit, when that one kind of finished up? How was the situation?
I mean, bodily wise, I feel fine. I've been able to find a good routine in reference to like the recovery part of it. In reference to the overall, team performance, I think that we obviously could have did better. For me personally, this year I've kind of like adopted the philosophy. Okay, I either win, as Nelson Mandela said, I either win or I either learn. So I think from looking at it from that point of view, me personally, I could find things in my game. I could find things, amongst the linebacker and our core group that we could have did a little bit better. I had MAs as well. In our office or our room had things that we could have did better. So from that point of view, I think that there's things to learn from that past game, and obviously we get another opportunity this Sunday if we make it, inshallah, and it'll be good. So.
If I remember correctly, Trevor, going into last year's game, Trevor wasn't 100%. He was like, just how have you seen his game grow and the challenges he presents, especially to you on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, especially to me. I mean, I feel like I've been playing these guys. I feel like I can't get away from these two guys, Etienne and Trevor. I feel like I played these guys like 20 times in Clemson, But nevertheless, his progression has improved, as a quarterback, and he's trying to keep the ball more in reference to like not turning it over, making smart decisions, and rather making quick decisions too. I mean, a lot of what we see on film is a lot of quicks. It's not a lot of super dropbacks, even though they do go deep. But it's a great fun. It's almost like a process to go deep. It's like, let's set up the shorts to be able to throw long. So I mean, it's good that you see that progression in the quarterback, and I think as time goes on, he'll continue to extend.
How tough is it when he's getting it out quick like that? Just it's got to drive you nuts when.
Well, when you have a good, I'm our linebacker group is slightly used to it a bit more. Especially from last year, when you have a great defensive line like how we do, quarterbacks tend to get the ball out a little bit more quicker. Take a look at that Rams game from last year, a lot of quicks, and it's just about, again, like looking at the formation, being able to at least have a few possibilities in your head and be able to read the quarterback and not go too fast on the run or go too far back on the pass, and just be able to be fundamentally sound. So.
What makes Ingram so good, and what's the key for you guys kind of limiting what he does?
He's fast. This guy's fast, but not only fast. I mean, he's has a good coaching staff, has a good quarterback, and he'll be able to make some plays, but we'll also be able to make some plays on him. So I'm looking forward to that matchup and that challenge.
Jeremiah, this team has, especially since Kevin has been here, has been so good at like when there's been adversity, when you're coming off a bad loss, whatever it is, just kind of bouncing back and playing some of your best football. What is it about this team and this coaching staff that has allowed you guys to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the coaches, it's not just the players. I think it's the whole entire organization. I mean, this organization has been through so much that that when something like a loss to the Cowboys in the first game happens, we're able to regroup and be able to understand that we've been through these challenges before, and we know how to overcome it. When you really look at a lot of the the greatest teams, a lot of them kind of like lose that like first game. So it's a lot of difficulty early on, and sometimes when you are just having so much success to start off with, you've never really been challenged, never really had that kind of like hurt feel, at least early on. Some teams get smacked when it comes to playoff time. So, I'm not glad that we lost the game, but again, we learn from those mistakes and we find a way to conceptualize it for our benefit. So.
How does the defense balance playing with your hair on fire, being aggressive, all that, with also trying to make sure you're disguising what you're doing?
Well, I mean that's more like a Coach Schwartz thing,
You're an extension of him.
Yeah, most definitely. But again, I think that it's about tempo, it's about pace. Obviously, the Jaguars have and each team has a certain way that they do their snap count, that they do their audibles, that they call the play in, that they change personnel. It's just about really understanding those things and the types of players. Like you may see something on the offensive line that may tell you, okay, they may do one of these tap things, or they may look this way or something like that. That would indicate when you can disguise and when you can't disguise, and different things like that. But ultimately, it's about time, tempo, and just understanding the personnel that you're playing.
Good.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Appreciate it.